come from Twitter and said that. I just seen a guy come from Twitter and said that the white farmers was upset because they thought that the black people was going to be out there in the fields. You better get your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your brother, your sister, your uncle, whoever the fuck else, because black people are not fucking coming out there. Are y'all fucking...
White farmers of Texas, I heard you just got hit with a Negro wake-up call. And in case you're confused, that's when the government comes for you, your business, and your livelihood. Not because you did something wrong, but because of who you are or who you employ. Let's break this down. 1. You voted for the machine that's turning on you. ICE raids didn't start yesterday. You cheered when they hit construction crews, kitchens, and border towns. But now that it's your farmhands, your fields, now it's a crisis? Nah, now it's consequences. 2. What you're calling unfair is what black folks call Tuesday. You lost workers. We lost land. We lost generations of wealth, trust, and access before we ever had a chance to build it. You're getting hit by the same system, the one you thought only came for them. Surprise, it was always going to come home. 3. This ain't karma. This is collapse by design. Texas built its wealth on exploited labor, racist policies, and government favoritism. But systems built on oppression don't stay in your control forever. Now you're watching the empire glitch, and you don't know the language because you never had to speak survival. So yeah, maybe it feels like a wake-up call. But trust, Black America's been wide awake. Welcome to the other side. You're not the victim. You're just finally in the room.
Hello there, people of the internet. I really hope you're doing fine from whichever part of the world you're watching this from, and welcome back once again to the channel. Now, more and more white farmers are coming out to openly cry out and express their frustrations towards the Trump administration because of the policies and the trade wars and tariffs that are affecting their farms. They are due to the mass deportation by the ICE and the raids. They do not have sufficient labor or enough workforce to work in their farms. Also, they do not have markets to sell their products due to the trade wars with China, Brazil, and all those countries. So they do not have anywhere to sell their crops, and also they do not have enough labor to sustain them or to work in their farms. We all know that the city of Texas was built, on the basis of free labor that was obtained from slave trade and all that, and it's indeed in the public domain that is that is how the city of Texas was was built. So let's have a look at a few clips that I came across online about this whole issue of the white farmers crying out to the government and all that. Let's have a look and then have a really quick discussion at the end of it all.
As a black farmer, it is hilarious when I hear white farmers complain about how they're losing their government subsidies and how they can't support their farms. My farm is closing down. Y'all acting just like a hoe acts like when their sugar daddy moves away, You start crying because he don't leave that light bill money on the freaking nightstand you used to, huh? No, stop crying. Stop bitching. Your people have had centuries of a head start on black farmers. And yet, for some reason, every other video that I seen on damn Farm Talk, the farm side of freaking TikTok, I'm seeing white farmers bitching, whining, and complaining. Excuse me, my people couldn't even read at one point. So why in the hell am I doing less bitching than you? You've been given everything. Imagine being so privileged that you're sitting on stolen land crying, "Daddy government, come save me. I can't afford to pay for my stolen land." Damn!
Boy, them farmers, they are really complaining. And I'm going to report every bit of it. You know why? Because our black farmers weren't getting anything. And yet our black farmers had to struggle. Now, this farmer is going to be out of Iowa. Now, his congressman is there at a town hall. And I want you to watch exactly what he says to this congressman about the tariffs and what he says about Trump. Let's check. Now, it was interesting to me that he said that he had about 3,500 acres of land, ladies and gentlemen. My question is, where do you get all that land from? That is a lot of land, right? Because I know good and well you didn't really purchase it because you came here to this country and it was somebody else's land. You know what I'm saying? But that's beside the point. He mentioned in 86 or so, he spent $30 to plant something. Man, the 80s is gone, bro. Them days is not coming back, unfortunately. Because if the 80s were here, man, we would be saving so much money. You know, I sometimes watch them videos showing the prices from the 90s and the 80s, and I remember all these prices too. I was like, man, boy, we had them prices again. Anyway, so the majority of the farmers.
It seemed crazy to me. I just seen a scale that they put out talking about how much money each demographic makes, which to me is crazy that you even release those numbers. But nevertheless, I just don't understand. This is why the farmers is messed up now, because they see that and they see African Americans at the bottom making $35,000 a year. And they don't know we've been out here grinding and taking care of ourselves this whole time. Because I get mad stuff for free. Like, I don't know anybody who makes $35,000 like on paper who lives at $35,000. Like, they still get their hair done, get their nails done, get everything done, because, and you like, how you getting that done? They talk about it, and people are like, oh, she goes to get EBT, but she got her nails done and she do that because you know that my man down the street, he flips cars and he gonna let me drive this one as long as I watch his son. Do you know that my girl, she does my hair for free as long as I, hook her up every now and then and come through with the fish plates? Like, we've been on that. We got a whole circuit of people. That's how we move. That's how we live. I wouldn't go by that. That's why these farmers is messed up, because they thought they was going to get the Latinos out of the country and then black people was going to take over.
You want to get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
But sure, if they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family.
Hey, one more thing about that farm thing. Those farmers complaining about how the Trump's trade war is hurting farms. And not just China, even though China no longer buys U.S. beef, that's gone to Brazil. They no longer buy U.S. soybeans. They don't buy a bunch of other agricultural products from us because they can source them elsewhere. And these farmers are all over these apps whining and crying that they didn't think it would hurt them. And please, Mr. Trump, I voted for you 3 times, and all this kind of bootlicking kind of BS. The other thing about that is, like I said in my other video, excuse me, there's a particular relationship, black people and farms in this country, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing is, do you remember during the Biden-Harris administration, their administration worked out a settlement with black farmers to pay them back pay for excluding them from bailout money that they were entitled to. The money only went to white farmers, and so black farmers, that's the way it is in this country, had to sue to get their fair share. And after years of court wrangling in the courts and everything, it was finally settled and black farmers were going to get their due. Sorry, my allergies. And you know why they didn't get their due? Sorry about that. Because white farmers sued to block the government settlement that they had made with black farmers. And white farmers sued saying that the white farmers, were being discriminated against for not getting some of the black settlement money. The black settlement money was because only white farmers got some of the initial bailout money, not black farmers. That's how twisted it is. So to the white farmers online whining about loss of business, threats to having their farms shut down and shut off, I say, fare thee well, good sirs. Fare thee well. You got what you got. You get what you get. You don't pitch a fit. You voted for Donald Trump, and you know what? He is working you over because the big conglomerates, some I hear are owned, I've read are owned by J.D. Vance or his companies, are about to buy up your land for pennies on the dollar. And you're going to be one picking those blueberries for $11 an hour, 7 days a week, for 10 hours a day. Literally, how you like them apples?
So them farmers really thought we was coming to get in them fields? Is that what I'm reading? Y'all really thought we was coming to get in those fields? It's funny when black people say stuff like over a year ago when we said that Donald Trump specifically saying that immigrants were coming over here to steal black jobs meant that him deporting them was supposed to open the door for us to get back in the fields. Of course, immediately, most people said, y'all are reaching. Now here we are. They are literally on Twitter, all over social media, complaining about the fact that we did not come into those fields. I get the unemployment rate is rising rapidly in the black community. I believe for us, it's about 7% compared to about 4.5% for just about any other demographic. But that also means that 93% of us have jobs. 93% of us are working. And 93% of us were never coming out into those fields to pick your stupid crops. Y'all are supposed to be the pick them up by their bootstraps people, right? Y'all are always the ones talking about earn this, that, hard work, this, that. But then y'all never want to do your own damn work. Y'all brought us over here, all right? We spent hundreds of years doing that stuff for free. We spent another 100 years after that with Jim Crow rights. We fought, bled, died, protested, did everything we possibly could to gain the rights that we have now. We live in this country, we work, we own businesses. We are not going back to your fields. Can y'all just let that shit go? Like, can y'all let it go? It ain't gonna happen. And there's nothing you're gonna do to make it happen. You don't got the numbers. You don't have the manpower. We're not going back. The experiment failed, okay? And now guess what's happening? Food is rotting in the ground because y'all really thought we was coming back out there.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is going to fail. Remember that? In 1910, 1 in 7 farmers were black. Since then, black people have had 90% of their farmland stripped from them. Let me tell you how. Carlton Sanders was a chicken grower from Forest, Mississippi, and he had contracts with Koch Industries. You know, the Koch, you know who they are, Tyson Foods, who have these contracts with farmers, chicken growers, etc. And they use these contracts to control farmers, control their income, control their operations. Now, Carlton was the only black chicken grower out of 173 chicken growers for Koch. He started with about $750,000 in debt and worked year after year after year to pay it down. And he had about $50,000 left before he could pay everything off for his farm. And guess what happened? Koch slapped him with some upgrades that were required to his farm. The cost was going to be about $318,000, and that was going to put him back in total about $500,000 in debt. I work all my life. But here's the thing. They slapped him with $318,000 of required changes to his farm, but didn't require any changes to the white farmers. None of the 172 white farmers, just the one black farmer. So he filed a complaint with the USDA. That didn't work, and the retaliation began. So he's scrambling, trying to put this money together. And at first he had the bank with him, willing to loan him the money. The bank was on his side. But you know how it works. Probably phone call from Coke to the bank, and next thing you know, the bank pulls and reneges out the deal, and foreclosure proceedings start. So they were able to get the money together to save the farm from foreclosure, and the bank wouldn't take it. Wouldn't take it. They wanted them out. So they closed on them in 2018. And Sanders found out who the buyers were going to be and offered them a price above what they would buy the farm for. So you offered a buyer $150,000. Offer not accepted. They sold the farm for $110,000. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps, they say. Stop asking for handouts. So he loses his farm. It's a beautiful farm. This story was being told on Something Black Made, and then Now This picked it up. And there may be a video out there that you can watch. It's really sad. So a couple of senators tried to help, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and they tried to get a meeting with Trump and to move forward with a bill, and also to try to get some relief. And Trump wouldn't even meet with him. He said, there's no problem here. If there was a problem, I would know about it. So he refused to meet. As I understand it, Carlton Sanders has a lawsuit pending against the Coke industry, whatever they call themselves. And I hope he wins, but it's Trump America right now. So the court system may or may not be able to help him. It's for discrimination and mistreatment. I told you that story because we've now got a serious problem going on in the heartland of America. Our farmers are crying and asking for help. They're losing their farms or at risk of losing their farms left and right. A lot of them lost their farms in the first Trump administration while getting subsidies and help in the Biden administration. But apparently something was going to be better this time around. We're winning, right? Yeah, we're going to deport all the migrants who work the farms. We're going to impose tariffs and start a trade war back with China, who is the lowest of the petty ones, right? So I want to be clear that China canceled all contracts for soybeans. They are buying 0 soybeans from the United States this year. They went and made 20-year contracts with Brazil for soybeans. And then Trump got rid of the subsidies, and the agency that was I don't know what happened to my phone there, but the agency that was exporting food to countries, third world countries, our grains and stuff, that agency got canceled, and that aid got canceled, and so there's no exporting. All that went to the big beautiful bill. A perfect trifecta. And so now we got Arkansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa saying the states might go bankrupt because they're missing all the tax revenue from all the exports and contracts that they would have had. Nebraska would have had a $2 billion contract with China for soybeans, and that would have generated $50 million in state taxes. Their migrants are gone. They didn't work this summer, so they didn't pay taxes either. So they're looking for handouts. Just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Stop asking for handouts. It's a welfare state. How does that feel? I know that this video appears to gloat about the predicament that those people find themselves in. And maybe so. The treachery that has been done to us, what goes around comes around. Racism is expensive. We voted for all of us, and you voted against us. So you having the day you deserve.
Yo, there's a black farmer on here named John Boyd, and he was on the Don Lemon show, and he was telling his story. Said that he's been farming for over 42 years in America, and he's reaching out to these institutions for financial help, and he's asking them for a loan, and they are denying him. Now, with all of us on TikTok, all of us, all of us, we're here, right? I say we help him. I'm not good at organizing, but I'm willing to donate. And if he doesn't want to take the money, maybe he could take it as a loan, and he could repay the people that loaned it to him some way. I don't know how it's going to work, guys, but we have to work it out for this black farmer, and we have to help more black farmers. Like, this app can do so much good if we use it the right way. We're all on it. We can gather, we could communicate, we could talk, we could make plans, but we have to help each other. And I think we should all help this black farmer get some funds. We should all put together, donate what we can, or lend what we can to this black farmer. That's it. Yo, there's a black farmer on here named John Boyd, and he was on the Don Lemon show, and he was telling his story. He said that he's been farming for over 42 years in America, and he's reaching out to these institutions for financial help, and he's asking them for a loan, and they are denying him. Now, with all of us on TikTok, all of us, all of us, we're here, right? I say we help him. I'm not good at organizing, but I'm willing to donate. And if he doesn't want to take the money, maybe he could take it as a loan, and he could repay the people that loaned it to him some way. I don't know how it's going to work, guys, but we have to work it out for this black farmer, and we have to help more black farmers. Like, this app can do so much good if we use it the right way. We're all on it. We can gather, we could communicate, we could talk, we could make plans, but we have to help each other. And I think we should all help this black farmer get some funds. We should all put.
Thank you so much for watching up until the end. And if you're new here or coming across the channel for the first time, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share so that you can help me get to 5,000 subscribers. Also, in a special way, I would love to thank those who've been supporting the channel, those who've been watching my videos, giving the video a thumbs up, joining the community and the channel membership, supporting the channel through the Buy Me Coffee link, or in whichever way. Man, I see you, and I'm really grateful for that. So now let's get right into it. So we all know that one of the policies that President Trump put out there during his campaign, or in the manifesto, was mass deportation of undocumented immigrants. And this has had a ripple effect in the economy. We understand that most of these folks that were working in the farms and doing all sorts of hard labor and all that were mostly black immigrants, and that is majority of them were doing that. And now, due to the recent policies and the deportation of ICE on the streets, we have seen majority of them being deported back to their countries. So this has had an effect to the farms. We do not have, or the farmers do not have people to work on their farms. Recently, we saw the farmers in Iowa protesting about the same, the farmers in Arkansas, and right now the farmers in Texas are also crying about the same. But then this is what the black folks have been saying for a while. They have been saying that it was not a good choice to elect Mr. Donald Trump to the office, because these were some of the policies that many black folks, black Americans, African Americans were against, and they were very vocal against such policies, and they were trying to warn the white Americans about that, but none of these farmers could lend an ear to that. So this now is the effect of that voting. And then, as I had mentioned, that Texas was built, you know, basically purely from exploited labor, from the slaves that were taken there earlier on in the years, who worked themselves off and, you know, were able to contribute to the building of the Texas we see today. So they really did have a big contribution. So right now that many of them are being deported and there's just no one to work in the farms. The farmers are trying to come out to, you know, as we've seen in the clips, they're trying to cry out, and but then it's too late because that is what they voted for. That is their leader, the one whom they chose, and they have just to deal with the consequences. So I also saw a clip of one black farmer who has been a farmer for about 42 years, who is known as John Boyd. John Boyd recently was saying in his clips that he's been knocking doors of different agencies, different government establishments, trying to obtain funding so that he can sustain his farms. But then he could not get any funding for that, which attracted widespread discussion online, and many people were willing to, you know, contribute, open a GoFundMe link so that he can be able to support this old man who has been farming all his life, which is pretty much a good initiative. As Black folk, we should always come together because our unity is what we need to, you know, fight against the system, which is designed to oppress us. When Black people come together, we should see more of that, so that for the case of John Boyd, who was able to open a GoFundMe, and people are still up to now trying to contribute so that they can be able to help him revive his farms, which he suggests should also be done to other black farmers in different states so that they can be able to sustain themselves, because really the government is not going to come in any soon, and it's like it does not care so much about the farmers. So it's upon us black people to stand, to stay united with each other and make sure that we support each other to the cause, especially to the farmers that are currently going through hardship, so that we can be able to support them. Also, apart from the farmers, we have to stick together so that we can be able to, you know, try and fight the oppressions that the system comes or is designed to, you know, exploit us. So thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you think down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.